Hey guys, I figured I would do a tier list for all the boost items from this chapter, and this is just going to be Stella's items and the auction items. It's not going to be the mutants or anything, it's just going to be things that you can spend your tickets on. And this list is going to compare the items like to each other, how good I think they are. It's not going to be based on how much I think they're going to cost, because that's going to largely be based on supply, and supply is hard to tell for some of the items, especially Stella's items. Like, I guess the auction items, it tells us the supply, but Stella's items, we just don't know what they're going to be. So I can't really base them all on supply because I don't know all the supplies. So I'm just going to base it on how good I think the items are compared to each other. So first up, we have the Reelmaster's chair, and this gives +5 daily fishing limit. And I made a recent video about the marine marbles. I don't like marbles anymore. So this is like nice for like fishing frenzy and stuff. And if you have like an ancient rod, I guess is good. But in general, +5 fishing limit doesn't really do much. So I'm just going to put this in F. Like, it's fine, but it's not great, and it's definitely the worst item in this chapter. Next up, we have the giant artichoke, and this gives +2 artichokes. And this is nice and all, but artichoke right now doesn't really have much of a use. Like, you could use it in the lava pit, but it only requires 30 artichokes, so that's really not that much of a use. So I think this is probably the second worst item this chapter. Maybe not. No, okay, it's not the second worst item this chapter, but for how much it's going to cost, it's not great. I think I'm going to put it in, it's either C or D. It's like around here. Actually, I'm going to put it in D just because there's like almost no use for artichokes right now. If there were more use for artichokes, I would put it higher, but there's almost no use for artichokes. Next up, we have the Pickaxe Shark. And this is a super interesting item because not many items have 2 boosts on it. This one does. It has -15% gold recovery time, as well as a 10% chance for gold to recover instantly. So this item is just essentially letting you mine gold way more frequently. And with this item, as well as some skills in the game, you can get your gold down to like 14 or 15 hours a day. So you could actually be mining it like 3 times every 2 days, which is super nice. So this item is only really good though if you have a lot of gold boosts. So if you have like a gold bud, you have the gold skill, you have nugget, you have emerald turtle. Like, there's a bunch of different gold boosts you can have. And then this is only really good if you have a lot of them. So that's kind of the problem with it. I think it's either B or A. It's very cool, but like I said, without a lot of other stuff to go along with it, it's not amazing. So I think I'm going to put it in B now, but I might move it up to A, I'm not sure. Next up, we have the Fruit Tune Box, and this is another not great item. It's nice in the sense of there aren't many ways to reduce fruit growth speed, but the problem is that fruit just aren't really that useful right now. Like, they're used in a lot of stuff, but people have so much fruit that the prices of fruit are just so cheap. So once again, it's kind of like the giant artichoke, where it could be very good if the thing it was boosting was better. But the problem is fruit just aren't that great right now. And like same thing with the giant artichoke. Artichokes just aren't that good. I think I'm also going to put this in D. Next up, we have Architect Ruler. And Architect Ruler reduces crafting box time by 25%. This wouldn't have been useful at all before, but now with all the dolls in the deliveries and bounties, it's actually a pretty useful thing to have. The problem, though, is it reduces crafting box time by 25%. And the default crafting time is 8 hours. So that means you can usually get in 3 per day. And this reduces by 25%, so that makes it 6 hours. The problem is that, like, depending on your sleep schedule, that might not actually mean you could do another one. It just might mean there's like, no real time crunches. Like, what I do is, like, I usually boost one of mine by, like, an hour. So I spend, like, 5 gems. And that eliminates all the time crunch for me. So this doesn't really do that much. With Soul and Luna, which we'll talk about later, it's a really good boost, but by itself, it doesn't really do all that much. So I think I'm going to put it in C because, like I said, by itself, it doesn't really do all that much just based on sleep schedules and whatnot. So I think I'm going to put it in C. Next up, we have the Giant Turnip, and the Giant Turnip reduces turnip growth time by 50%. Turnip is sort of like artichokes in that they aren't that useful. They're, once again, used in lava pits, and they're used more than the artichokes in lava pits, so that's good. But the problem is, once again, that it's not like the most. When we get to the giant onion is used a lot in lava pits, so the giant onion boost is very good. But the giant turnip right now, it's not the best. I would honestly put it somewhere on par with the giant artichoke. They do slightly different things, obviously. The turnip is better if you have a lot of other boosts. The artichoke is better if you don't have a lot of other boosts. But once again, they aren't that useful. This might be a C thing. I'm not sure. It probably is, just because, like I said, turnips are used a lot more than artichokes in the lava pits, so it's slightly better than the artichokes, but not a lot better. Next up, we have the giant onion, and Onions are actually used a lot in the lava pits. So, for example, here I'll pull up the lava pit requirements. So this was the artichokes. It's only used 30 per in autumn. Turnips are used 200 per in winter, but onions are used 400 per lava pit. That's a lot. And this is a +3 boost. There aren't many +3 boosts. There's like Infernal Pitchfork, and that's like it. But that's obviously +3 everything, whereas this is just +3 onions. But it's still a very strong boost. This is one of the better boosts this chapter, probably. I think I'm going to put it up in B with the Pickaxe Shark. It's very, very strong. Next up, we have the Lava Swimwear, and I think this is the best item this chapter. It might not be an S tier compared to other things like from previous chapters, but I think it's the best thing this chapter, so I'm going to put it in S tier. I just pulled up the lava pit requirements. As you can see, the lava pits are quite expensive to maintain, especially if you have like the obsidian necklace, which reduces the time, and you buy additional lava pits with sunstones. You're going to be burning through a lot of flour, and this is going to save you a lot of flour over an extended period of time. So I think it's just the best item in this chapter. If I didn't say, it reduces lava pit requirements by 50%, so it's a very strong boost. Next up, we have the oil gallon, which gives +5 oil. And the oil gallon, I think, is probably one of the better items this chapter too. The default amount of oil you get is 10, 10, 30. So 16-ish, 16, 17 by default. One of the stronger items in the game is oil overalls, and this is like half as good as oil overalls. I think it's probably about a B tier. It's very strong, but not the best item this chapter. Next up, we have Groovy Gramophone, and this reduces crop growth time in the crop machine by 50%. This is very good because it'll save you oil, because how the crop machine works is it uses oil as it grows, and if you have to grow stuff for half as long, then it will use half as much oil. So it's a very strong boost. I don't think it's as strong as oil gallon, but I do think it's very strong. It's probably like a C tier boost. It's more of a whale item though, because whales use the crop machine way more than most average players. Next up, we have a returning item, which is the Solarflare Aegis. It reduces plot growth time in summer by 50%. So this is a very strong boost. It only works a quarter of the time, but a quarter of the time that it does work is very strong. Anything that reduces crops by 50% just across the board is a very strong boost. So I think this is probably the second best item this chapter, and I'm going to put it in A. Next up, we have Blossomward Shield, which is +1 crops in spring. This is a pretty good boost. One of the good things about it is you can stack up your crop machine with this, as well as waiting for the bountiful harvest, and get a lot of crops out of your crop machine. So that actually makes this boost pretty good. And I think it's probably like a B tier because of that. It only works a quarter of the time, only in spring, but it's still quite a strong boost. I think it's definitely better than these other things down here, so I think it's about a B tier boost. And then finally, we have Sol and Luna, which reduces the crafting box time by 50%. As I said with the Architect Ruler, last chapter this would have been like an F tier boost, but because we need so many dolls for deliveries and bounties, reducing the doll time from 8 hours to 4 hours means you can make way more dolls than before. And if you stack both these boosts, you're just going to be pumping out so many dolls. I think this is probably also an A tier boost along with the Solarflare Aegis. Actually, I think I'm going to make one change. I think I'm going to move the Architect Ruler down to D. I don't think by itself it's very good. Like I said, with Sol and Luna it's very good, but by itself it just doesn't do that much, just because with the sleep schedules, it doesn't really help you actually make another one in a day. So yeah, that's basically my list. Let me know in the comments below if you think differently or if you have any comments about my list. And yeah, have a good day, guys. Please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't yet. It would help me out a lot. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Have a good day, guys. And I also want to say thank you to all the members of the channel. The current members of the channel are Raichu, Thedra, Deucefold, and New Augustine. Thank you very much for your support.